Poi proviamo questo. No. Ah, ma mi fa solo una. Ok. Hi. I'm trying to stream a double video from Zoom of a watercolor with, it's not actually a watercolor, it's a water painting with coffee. As no one has watercolor, it's very hard to buy it. So I'm trying to make it easy for everyone. So now I need a pencil. Here you can see a calligraphic drawing of a bird. And now we're using this outline here as an underlay, as the outline for a three-dimensional drawing of this bird, but with coffee, so just one color. And thank you for joining. I'm not sure I can see you. Oh, it's still preparing streaming. Here we are. There is no home screen. How is that? Let me see this. Sei organizzatore. See this. I would like you to see my phone screen in streaming. Okay. Vista, Galleria. It doesn't show it. No way. Why is that? No way to show my screen. Unbelievable. Metti in sala d'attesa. No, it's impossible. It is not working. It is not absolutely working. Oh, finally. I guess I should do it again and stop this. It's working only now. Unbelievable. Okay. I will leave it like this. Okay. It's a little bit behind. I hope I can cut it later. Okay. And my phone camera is much better. Okay, let's get started with the bird. Just want to see if this changes anything. So we just start with the back and the tail. Oh, it's back now. Okay, no, not working. Not working. So let's start with the back and the tail. then the cheek, and with belly. It's important that we guess the correct size of the belly if compared to the head. So this entire shape looks a little bit like a drop. And then the opposite cheek. So we're trying to reproduce the outer shape of the body and the semicircle for the head. Then this line for the wing, that it is in the middle of the body. And then complete the tail. You can just copy this one, that it's already stylized, simplified. The upper part of the wing with smaller feathers. The eyes and the beak. The legs. Too big. Okay, now we can start to apply light and shade. With this brush, but you can use any pointed brush, even not very soft. It's okay if it is synthetic one. If I show it, here you can see it better. So what's important now? We're reproducing the shadows, but the shadows also help us to create the impression of three-dimensional depth and of the three-dimensional form. So there will be shadows, so a darker shade under the wing, and then we blur it. By the way, the paper is not a watercolor paper, it's just a regular paper for printers, and it's just heavier than the regular paper. It's not 80 GSM, but it's about 120, 160. I no longer have the package, so it's just thicker. And you see, it's not easy to blur on such paper, but I know that you can't afford good watercolor paper. So let's try to make the best that we can with the worst that we have. Maybe it's good just to dilute our coffee pigment as much as we can and work in glazes. And I also work on the background. So the illuminated parts of the bird's body become visible thanks to a darker shade on the background. And I will make another stream with good watercolor paper so you can see the difference. It is worth buying. There are a few papers that are affordable. You can buy them online and they cost less because they are not 100% cotton. There are papers that are 50% and 25% cotton. So I have tried all of them, and I would say 50% cotton paper is okay. 25%, it is a bit better than this paper, but I would not advise it. Because, you know, when you start painting, you need to see a decent result. If you see something that is just not good, you will not be motivated to continue. You will feel frustrated, and that is not exactly what we want when we practice watercolor. We basically paint because we need to experience good emotions. I would say just spend that 10-15 euros for a good small block of 50% cotton watercolor paper. It can be Fabriano or Canson. Canson is a good paper. There are affordable blocks of Canson paper that are 300 GSM and they are 100% cotton, and you will experience great painting, great first time painting on this paper. So just try to browse online. There are a lot of stores, fine art supply stores online, and also on Amazon, you can find it, and it arrives in a few days. So you will be able to open my video tutorial later and paint a creative coffee painting of a bird. And it is just regular coffee, mocha coffee. This one was mixed with ink, but you don't need to do this. I have a few just pure coffee examples here that looks warmer, and I like this warmer shade here. By the way, you can follow my emotional calligraphy account on TikTok. I'm publishing every day a bunch of videos of calligraphy practice. Calligraphy helps to calm down. It is a form of meditation because it is combined with breathing. And it also trains you to have a firm hand when you draw and paint. And in watercolor, when you work with soft material, soft tool, it is crucial to have a firm hand, and it comes from calligraphy when we work repeatedly with a calligraphic pen that is firm. It is solid, so it is more manageable. Okay, now I'm working with glazes. I'm making details, going over the underlay, and it creates nice shades. You see the feathers on the chest and the belly. They follow the round shape of the belly, and they help to emphasize the three-dimensional spherical shape of the belly. Everything, every line, every stroke in a painting is there for a reason. The character of the strokes also creates an emotional response when we look at it. Strokes and glazes are not there only for the reason of creating the illusion of the shape, or not only for the reason of drawing something recognizable. It is not a photograph. It is the trace of our emotional state. And this is the reason why we are creating art. We are communicating, we are conveying this state to the viewer. The difficulty of this technique is that we have only one color. So we can't make the grass green and the body yellow or brown. We have only one brown color. So how are we making it recognizable? By the difference between the colored areas and the white areas. The white areas are just the paper color. And it is sometimes it is very difficult to figure out from the point of view of a beginner how to distinguish the white areas on the foot for example, and the background. So for this reason, when I paint the shadows on the foot, after that, immediately, I apply a glaze of color on the background close to the foot. And then again, the other foot, the shadow part of the foot. It's also tricky because here the feet, they are made, each of them, by just one line. Here, this line is the shadow part of the foot because it is very narrow. When we're painting narrow objects, thin objects in watercolor, it is very tricky, and our mind is deceived, because when you just make this line and you say this is a foot, this is a leg, it means that you name it. When you instead paint the shadow with the same line, you are actually creating an image of the leg and of the foot. Let's make a bit of grass here. It's also, let's not be afraid of making the projected shadow underneath the feet. It can be a bit darker. Some background behind the bird. So actually, it doesn't take that long. When we use calligraphy for drawing, calligraphy study for drawing on the outline, and coffee for watercolor. And we can have a pretty decent result working on paper that is not indicated for watercolor. Yeah, here's the bird. Send me your results. Thank you for watching.